Hi, welcome to episode 6. I'm Naomi.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Danny.
And today we have Atiyyah here with us, who is a chef, and she's going to talk about how she started her own business in her field of choice, which is cooking. So, go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, everybody.
Yes, thank you
thanks
for
for
coming.
being here.
Yeah, I
Yes.
appreciate it. To say that I am a chef, I feel that I still learn every day. So I am a cook, and I am a licensed culinarian. However, when it comes to the industry that I am in, what you put in is what you get out. So I found my love for cooking when I was around the age of 13, and I actually started catering with my soccer coach, a full-bred Italian woman that I had no idea knew how to cook. But hey, that's not my business. Anyway.
You don't know how to cook.
Right.
Okay.
That's awesome. A1.
And she actually needed help with the wedding to start. It was a small, intimate, like 200 people wedding, and she needed help prepping, and she found out I did like to cook. Her son and I, one of her sons, were actually friends, and that's kind of how we started. And I stuck with it, and I ended up getting into my university of choice, which was a miracle. And
Which university?
Johnson and Wells
Hey!
University in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so getting into that school kind of helped me stick with my love of cooking and deciding to do what I wanted in this life and not what everybody else wanted me to do.
Yeah, I did hear that has a really great culinary program there. When I was in high school, that was one of the schools they promoted. That was the field that you wanted to pursue. So, yeah, that's really great that you was able to experience that.
Yeah.
And so then, once you started pursuing that in college, what provoked you to kind of start your own cooking business? Because I know like some chefs, they're okay with just working at like a 4-star restaurant like that. So what kind of promoted you? And then also, what kind of food do you cook too? Let's talk about that.
So essentially what got me started, a line cook in a restaurant setting is very intense. You don't always get to take credit for what you cooked. You don't always get the opportunity to plate like you want. You don't get the opportunity to use your recipes all the time. So half the time you're working under an executive chef that already has this, and this set out. So when I got into, merging off and wanting to stand out a little bit, the thing that makes cooking so enjoyable for me is that satisfaction you get back from someone that likes your food, or someone that can sit there with you, watch you go through the whole process and then taste your food. And the type of food that I choose to cook, I really don't want to broaden myself. I like to, it goes back to that whole learning everyday thing in this industry. So when it comes to me, I want to be able to travel and learn new cuisines and be able to put that back into my own menu one day. So essentially, I guess my answer would be, I love to cook proteins, and my specialty is braising meats and making sure that they're tender enough so when you pick up that bone, the meat falls off.
I experienced
That is my personal preference right there.
Oh, she ain't lying.
So, as for, if it came to like Caribbean or Latin, or I don't choose to pick, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's good. That's great.
I like to explore.
I like it. So we usually have a deep question of the day.
Yeah, more so this is like the deep question of the month. Because we've been asking this and for our prior guests. So one of the questions we've been asking our guests is like, what hasn't school taught you?
That's a great question. School has not taught you how to survive in this industry. School doesn't really teach you entrepreneurialism.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we I understand.
School does not teach you how to truly be an entrepreneur. They teach you what it is to be an entrepreneur.
Right,
yeah.
They teach you the basics of entrepreneurship. However, when it goes to jumping into that world, getting all your licenses, making sure you're food safety certified, and making sure everything's up to date, and just learning in that, building your clientele, building your portfolio. Let me get it right. So it takes a lot, and I just feel like that's something you can never teach because you have to learn, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there and continue to push yourself to build your business. If it's truly something you want to do. You come across people that would like to copy what you do, or you come across people that like to discourage what you do. And the biggest part of being an entrepreneur is to continue to push yourself and be your biggest motivator, because no matter what, if this is something you got into because you love to do, there should be no reason you should have to stop doing it.
That's beautiful.
And that's commendable, because a lot of times people just take the job that pays the bills, but doesn't, give them that passion or that feeling that a lot of us we crave, right? But it's hard to follow our dreams.
Yeah, it is.
So, we commend you.
Right.
Now, you spoke about licensures because, I always had this little like mini dream to open up my own cafe. I don't want to be a chef, but I do like the idea of a cafe because it's like it's a really dope environment where people come together. You can work on your work. We can have open mics and things like that. Sip on like really good coffee. So, what kind of licenses are required for like a business that has food involved?
So essentially, to focus on the cafe to start, for that you wouldn't even need like the commercial food license. You wouldn't need, once you have your business license, and there might be a beverage certificate state. There is, especially if you like to incorporate, if you're a cafe that wants a little Bailey's in their coffee, you're gonna need that liquor license. But okay, but with
Naomi's like yes. She's like noted.
Take notes.
What they call it? The Irish coffee.
The
alcohol.
And the little creme de menthe over the whipped cream.
Bitch, she knows.
That little liqueur goes a long way. But when it comes to my catering, for example, I started out just serving platters to college students, and that was just to pay the bills. That started as I'm a college student and I need money. So, and then it turned into something that I actually enjoyed doing once I had the foundation to do it. I started out making plates to order by myself in my tiny little kitchen, and hypothetically, we're not going to say that I wasn't licensed, but everybody starts somewhere. That's what we're going to say. So, for my field, I would have to have a commercial food license. I would have to have a food safety license. First of all, you have to get the health department to inspect your kitchen, especially when you're catering. And if you do cater out of your home, they have to come and approve it. It has to be properly ventilated. It has to be the minimal amount of fire hazards in your kitchen, basically. That's the essential. So, but to be a food safety manager is the biggest thing, because if you don't know the temperature your protein should be when it's done and what before it's cooked, that's a problem. You serving purple meat to purple people. So that's just not it. But essentially, keeping up with your licenses and making sure when they expire, you are renewing them. Some are monthly, some are annual, some, so it diversifies.
That's helpful, because I talked to this one girl who had a smoothie truck. She would go to like malls on the weekends to sell smoothies, and she was telling me about all these licenses she had to get just for a smoothie truck.
Just to get started,
that was similar to like what typical like food restaurants would do. Even though she's not selling food, she's only selling smoothies, but I guess because it's like an edible product, there's a lot that goes into it. So I feel like that's really helpful information for anybody like me who has like a small dream of doing something like that.
Which is amazing. One thing that I also want to mention is, especially when it comes to my catering for college students, and in that capacity, like on a minor scale of catering, I would use rental kitchens, so they're already licensed. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's
smart.
So they're making sure you have your food safety, they're making sure you're certified.
So how do you find those?
Honestly, you just got to do a little
Right.
networking,
Okay.
but also they're essentially in every state. I use the good old internet.
Right.
There we go. But that's where I started. But then I did end up getting some suggestions, and I was actually using the help of one of my favorite graphic designers to start planning an event that I wanted to do. That actually got pushed back due to the fact that I am relocating at the end of May. So
on an ATL, y'all.
So essentially, I'm getting a little off topic, so I'm gonna
No,
get
no,
no.
we was learning a lot.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it all depends on what aspect of the field that you're in. The licenses all depend on what aspect. If you're starting a restaurant, you gotta start from scratch.
Right.
So that's a whole nother thing. But with me, like I said, I'm a more personal chef, more private chef. So essentially, once I'm that food safety manager, I'm okay to, mix and mingle and get done what I have to do. So that's just
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is so exciting.
Yeah.
So, what are some curveballs of becoming like your own boss or being an entrepreneur?
That's great.
Yeah.
Or if you can think of like any like major one, like the highlighted one that he was like, oh shoot, I had nobody telling me about this part.
No, the major. I mean, curveballs in general, from minor to major. I feel that your biggest curveball is going to be people on the outside trying to either discourage you or just do what you're doing but better.
Right.
They're trying to learn from you to use it against you, and I've had that happen.
Yeah.
And then another curveball in entrepreneurship would be just not understanding the business you're going into before you go into it.
Yeah, that's so true.
You need to really study your business. Everything you want to do in your field, you need to know, this, that, and the third.
That's very true.
So it's all the research you put in is what you get out. So
Right.
at the end of the day, whether it's hospitality, culinary, anything, whatever industry you're in, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you research, sorry guys, getting anxious.
No, it's okay.
But if you research and you properly prepare to go into your field, you minimize the risk, and you minimize the, potential trial and error moments. I'm not saying there are none. Never will I say that. Entrepreneurship is a complete risk. Let's be clear.
100%.
But when you have someone that's dedicated and devoted to what they're doing, and you have that confidence in what you're doing, whether it's a product or what you cook, you have to maintain that confidence to really get through it. So, yeah, I just say keep working, keep pushing, and entrepreneurship,
Now, I know, like for a lot of us young millennials, sometimes the older folks that's already in our field get a little threatened by us.
Very much so.
Yeah, so like, have you experienced anything like that? With like, feel like you think somebody's gonna be your mentor and they're that complete
Like
opposite?
competing with you instead.
Yeah.
No, I definitely have come across a few instances like that. What it comes down to is the younger generation is seen as more innovative.
Right.
They're seen as more determined and more ambitious. More ambitious due to the fact that we're new to the market. So not only are we trying to learn from you, but we're trying to create something that you haven't even thought of.
Right.
So okay. So what it comes down to with the younger generation of entrepreneurs is that you're always gonna get that old person, or especially when you mention mentor, you could look at somebody and see them as someone you want to work towards being, and that's truly an inspiration for you. But they're looking at you like, oh, she'll never touch me, or she can never be as who I am. And then it's like, now you're getting ego. It's like you're getting competitive, and it's like, I understand there's always going to be competition, but if you have somebody that you're even looking to as a mentor in that way, that should be somebody you can trust to feed off of, and y'all can bounce ideas. You just have to know who you're working with. And people show their true colors quickly. So, it is what it is. But once someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
That's another
Oh,
thing.
that's
Maya
a great
Angelou.
advice.
Okay.
That's another thing.
From
So
the first time.
you don't need that second try. You really don't. Okay.
Yes.
One and done.
Yes.
One of the questions like I had, because I honestly honor the fact that you're young and you like really set out wholeheartedly into your passion and into your dream. It's like what, because I've talked to people who have followed their dreams like relentlessly. It's like what keeps you like on track, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure you went through setbacks. I'm pretty sure you went through moments where you question it. Yeah, like what keeps you like with that refreshed sense of love for food, like for cooking?
I love that question. I think I love all y'all questions. But honestly, okay. So there has been times where me being a college student and trying to be an entrepreneur and trying to be an employee and trying to, just maintain and actually doing it on my own and moving out of the house and all that,
Right.
it gets to you. I'm not saying it doesn't. And there's times where you want to quit
Right.
and you want to give up, and it's just like you got to take that moment to look at yourself in the mirror and remind yourself why you even started.
Right.
And then it gets to the point like I'm getting a little emotional just because it's like it takes a lot. It takes a lot, and people don't give you credit for that. Like they see your successes and don't understand the amount of times you wanted to give up. So what it comes down to, what keeps me motivated is the fact that I genuinely do have a passion for cooking, and that learning something new excites me, and I've always been a hands-on learner. So when I could dive into the kitchen and be like, oh, let me just cook this just to cook it, but then you're trying something new and you're writing it down. One thing about me is I don't even write recipes half the time.
Wow.
What? So it's just
Often-
like
often
freestyling?
don't. That's my problem. That's a good thing and a bad thing.
Girl, I don't even know.
Literally. No. Half the time I just try new seasonings until it works, and then I put it right in the back of my brain. But I hate when people ask me for recipes. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, that's a true chef.
I sit there like, yeah. So put a little bit of paprika.
Right.
What's a little?
Right,
Don't ask me for a measurement. I'm not a pastry chef. Okay. No. I'm not baking for a reason. I can bake, but I don't like to.
Right.
So
But
funny.
honestly, no. What it comes down to is what keeps me motivated is just being that one person that always pushes myself. I don't know, like, when you get to the point where you're used to people walking out and you're used to like losing people, at the end of the day you got to look at yourself like it's you and you.
Right.
So if you want to give up on you, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I
So
love
that's
that.
tough,
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. It's
Right.
about you doing it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you give up, then you gave up on yourself.
And it's like you work
Yeah.
when you look at how hard you worked to get to where you are, and realizing how far you really did come. It's like you really want to give up on all
Right.
that.
I know.
You sure?
Right.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Wow,
Right.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I love how you,
that's
it's like,
deep.
it's you and you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's
I
deep.
really do
You're
appreciate
your biggest
that.
competitor.
Yes,
So-
because in society, a lot of times it's so easy to compare ourselves to others, especially
Yeah,
like
and
social
you get
media.
discouraged.
Yeah, or
quickly.
they get discouraged because somebody else is doing something. You're like, dang, why
Right.
can't I do that? Or
Right.
how did they make it? And I'm still
Exactly.
here. And it's
Right.
just like, it's not about them. It's about me and
Right.
what I've done already. So.
Right. And
Precisely.
I think that's like also really, really cool to like mention about, cause like I know like especially being like in a creative field where it's like you come across a lot of people that are trying to do the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's like they try to like I guess like reinvent it in their own way.
Right.
It's like how do you maintain your peace, like your balance, where it's like you see somebody that's doing exactly what you're doing,
Right.
but it's like, how do you maintain that sense of originality where it's like it doesn't?
Honestly, what it comes down to, because I promise you, when I started the plates, especially when it came to just my platters with college students in Rhode Island, I remember they did it years prior, and I saw like people, advertising, oh, you want to try this, $10, blah, blah, blah. But then it got to the point where I'm in the store one day. I said, oh, let me get some potatoes. Let me get some food. Let me get some ingredients. I'm always cooking for people, so why not make money for it?
Yeah.
And my first plate, I think I sold maybe 30 something plates.
Wow, that's
That,
a lot.
no, that, I'm
That's
telling you, that was a
incredible.
miracle. I'm not saying it to brag. I'm saying it.
Yeah.
I'm very humble. I promise.
No, I
the brag
It was really like starting off and just trying to do it by myself. Didn't have a car at the time. Didn't have, that commercial license. Was doing it out of my kitchen just to pay the bills, just to pay rent for the next month and keep a roof over my head.
Wow.
So I had to go through taking lifts, taking Ubers, taking Riptas, well, the public bus, correct myself.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one, but
put on for Rhode Island. But yeah, so essentially, I felt that with that first plate, learning to do it by myself, no help, it humbled me. It humbled me to, go stretch out and, reach for people and just see who I can work well with. And that's kind of been the process with that whole platter situation since. And it's cool to find people that you can work with, but at the same time, after I started, now you see other people posting their menus. Now you see people, oh, but I could do this. Oh, and then it's the same menu that I just put out. Oh, okay, that's interesting right there.
Yeah.
So I was just, honestly, I just looked at it as, okay. So that's life. That's gonna happen. And at the end of the day, your food is not my food.
Right.
Your food is your food, and I'm sure you like your taste, but I know my food. And that's just what it came down to when I saw like the buildup of competition and the people coming in trying to, do it better. Or I had people talk to me about how I did it, and then the next week they started doing it. That was humbling right there. So it's just, you're always gonna have that, and it just really gave me that perspective of, okay, I appreciate you. I'm still supporting you. Not once did I not post anybody who's also doing what I'm doing. I have no problem marketing for whoever.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's karma that's coming back to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I know how hard it is to start.
Right.
So I'm not mad at you, boo.
Okay.
But you just ain't gonna do it how I'm doing it.
Okay.
It took me a little more to do how I'm doing. So honestly, like, what it came down to is you just support those around you, whether they're trying to get at you or not.
Right.
And once you know your product and you're confident in your product, whatever business it is, don't let nobody take that from you.
Right.
Yes.
So,
That's that.
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just find it so beautiful how it's like, because it just shows like your dream and passion is cooking, right? And it's like, I feel like there's certain gifts that everybody has that is like, like I'm not saying that like cooking is like small, but it's like, like my mom cooks every day. Like, and it's like, like it's just that mentality where it's like, wow, like this is my gift. Like I can turn that into a gift, and just like imagine like everybody else who has things like that, that is like, wait a second, I can turn this into a business. So I think that's really dope that you're able to like transform that thing that people take for granted, where it's like cooking every day. It's like making it into an art,
Oh, it is an art. Like culinary arts is like a really big thing that doesn't get the credit of like the artistic part of it.
Right.
Because
as it
people could
should.
call themselves a chef.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like, we all chefs. Whatever you want. That's why
I'm not gonna lie to that.
That's why I had to take
I
on
cook
you
something
somewhere.
good.
I can make a mean grilled cheese, you know what I mean?
In that order. So what it comes down to is just like you can't tell, like I couldn't sit here and tell anybody in business that they don't know what they're doing. I can't sit here and say, oh, I know how to do a little bit of accounting, so let me do, no, not for you. Let me stick to my basics. I barely
I wish I could cook like you could cook. Listen, I can survive. I can make my man survive. But
no, but I promise you, the thing about cooking and the fact that people do end up either loving or hating it is what it comes down to is what you don't think about is everybody has to eat.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form, it's
Right.
always going to be a business.
Yes.
So whether we go to the
Yes.
supermarket and get a box of cereal, somebody making money off that
Okay.
box.
That's so
Yes,
true,
that's-
yeah.
that's very
So
true.
even when you buy that slice of pizza,
Right.
come on. So it's just at the end of the day, everybody has to eat, and it's always going to be a business. So to me, a chef is someone who comes into that business, learns different cultures, and is multicultural,
Yes.
and can put on a plate something that you can't get at home. That makes
Right.
sense.
Yes.
So that's why I don't essentially call myself a chef, due to the fact that until I have that palate and that ability to know what Japanese cuisine is and know what South American cuisine is, Brazilian to be specific, Peruvian, like the differences, because everybody thinks Latin is Latin and Caribbean's Caribbean and Trinidad and come on, don't do that. Don't mix them up. Okay, like even my Africans like different cuisines.
Yeah,
Let's be
or
clear.
even like within African cuisines, it's different. It's like the Ghana one,
Right.
the Kenyan one,
And the one you hear the most is Ethiopian.
yeah, or
You can get
Ethiopian.
Ethiopian food in the
Yeah.
States, but you're not hearing about everything.
Right,
You see what
yeah,
I'm
so
saying?
it's all
Okay.
different. Even like I know like different African people,
Right.
they be saying, "No, my jollof rice is better."
Exactly,
Yeah,
and it's a whole different job.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So what it comes down to is a chef is a multicultural individual who loves to cook but loves to learn to cook new things, and that's just personal opinion, of course, but I'll let you know when I get to that.
Oh,
yeah, I see
okay.
it because she said, "I'm not just a chef. I want to be the chef."
Right,
Yeah.
I
yes.
just really want to have that experience, and I don't mind trying new things. I will forever say, don't hate it till you taste it. I will never say
That's
I
like a
won't
good
try
slogan,
something
like
new.
a
I know,
business
yeah,
slogan.
right,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you
gotta
go.
try
That's
new
your
things.
slogan.
So,
So, what's your favorite dish or your favorite dish to cook?
my favorite dish to cook, what I'm trying to say. My favorite dish to cook, in all honesty, would probably be my short braised ribs. I love short ribs. The ribs are great, but short ribs is a whole nother caliber of great. You see what I'm saying? So, especially when you take the time to make that homemade barbecue sauce instead of just
Oh,
brushing
you
something
made,
on.
oh,
You know
wow.
what? We should have done like a taste test.
I really, if I didn't drive down this
No,
morning,
it's
it would have been
not.
with
It's
me.
fine, it's
I
fine.
had full intentions of being
Next
here
time.
yesterday, but,
Oh man.
but yes.
It's fine.
I have yet to experience.
Yeah, maybe we'll redo this episode.
Yeah,
Right.
We can talk.
Yeah, we'll talk after the show.
I need to taste it.
So yes, that would definitely be my my favorite thing to cook.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, well, this
Yeah.
is good. You got a couple any other questions?
I just want to say I have yet to experience meat falling off the bone of a
Oh,
rib.
yeah.
So
Oh.
I
I
have a video.
Oh, you want
Pull out the archives.
She was like, oh. It's like,
just,
dang it.
wow, I've never experienced ribs like that.
Yes.
Because when you bite into a rib, there should be no reason that when you get to the bone, you still have meat on it.
Oh.
That's chicken too. Don't get me wrong.
I see. I'm about to expect
Yeah, I
my
be
mom's
sucking on the
food.
bone like, oh
Like there's still some left.
No, maybe
that bone
we
should
should
be
be
able to clean itself.
Maybe before this episode airs, maybe we can, meet up again, maybe try it.
Right,
before
right.
it's aired. You know?
Danny's really trying to get some food.
I think we can work on that.
I like that.
Yes.
Listen, I'm all for it. Take a whole road trip to Rhode
Right.
Island.
Just for the ribs,
Yeah.
right? That is
Yeah,
so
no.
funny. So I guess like with the question, like closing question is like, what are your goals? Like, I know you mentioned about traveling.
Right.
Like, what do you envision yourself as?
Or your next step that you're
Right.
take.
Okay, so in all honesty, right now I'm completely focused on the fact I just got into the Voyage program with the Marriott International.
Nice.
Congratulations. We need like a button
I
that
And I will be starting in June in downtown Atlanta
Wow.
for culinary arts and food and beverage operations management. So
Wow.
it's essentially their manager and training program.
Nice.
Within 12 months, it's a self-paced program, so I can finish before the 12 months. But essentially it's 12 months of learning how to be the best manager you could be
Wow.
when it comes to culinary arts and every field of culinary. Like people think the only manager for culinary arts is executive chef. There's so much more that goes on in that kitchen.
I'm sure.
To keep that kitchen running.
I'm sure. I've been watching the TV shows.
Okay, so I mean, but I'd be
That's
that's really that's really where my focus is right now. Just because when it comes to traveling, being with the Marriott is kind of like the biggest thing in my career. Though it scares the heck out of me, it was actually when I got the call, I thought the woman was calling me to tell me that I didn't get in because usually you get an email saying, you know, congratulations.
Right.
But she called me to tell me I got in, and
Wow.
I almost lost my mind.
Wow.
And it's just crazy because it means the world to me just because I've worked so hard.
Right.
And the Marriott is something you look at and you're like, oh, I'll never work for them, but they're great. You know, I'll stay in their hotels.
No, Marriott's nice.
Yeah, they
So,
are nice.
For me, like with the hospitality industry, to me, Marriott is the face of hospitality. That's just personal opinion, of course. But
Yeah.
It's nice.
with that, it just means to me that I have the opportunity to do everything that I've been talking about doing for so long. And that's really what scares me,
Yeah.
but humbles me at the same time. It's just like, it's so relieving to know everything that you put in and everything I've been working for 22 years
Wow.
is about to fold over into something more. And having the opportunity to go wherever I want in the world after the program is done, just to continue cooking is everything. And it's just like, I really worked for it, and now it's here, and like, it's real.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it.
Yes.
But I am so grateful, and like, I just, you know.
Yes, you better get it, girl.
Yeah.
That's
So-
boss woman status.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as for my end game, I do want to be a private chef. Ultimately, with the Marriott, I'm going to be learning how to be on the line again, which is great and everything. But my end game is definitely get back into that personal private cooking and be able to still travel, but also give you that feel of what it is to see me start from, you know, the seasoning, the raw meat, and get to that plate that's in front of you, and just, you see the whole experience, you taste it, you feel the love in the plate, and not have to rush it for a line setting.
Right.
I like to slow cook. I like to intimately cook. I like to make sure you understand what it took to make that plate.
Yes.
So,
I like to eat that kind of food.
Oh,
Right.
We're definitely doing it on our It's like, it's gonna happen.
yeah, no, that's what it comes down to for me. My end game is definitely to get back into private personal catering and cooking, and just continue to learn. I just never want to stop learning.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
awesome.
Yes.
See, like 10 years from now, you're going to be watching this and you're going to be the chef.
Right, right.
We're going to pray on it.
Yes.
It's going to need a whole lot of prayer.
No, I believe in you, and I love it. I
Yeah.
love the motivation, and I feel like with the motivation, the confidence, like the humble experiences, like there is no limitations to where you can go, and that's for like any field.
Right.
So we appreciate you dropping them gems.
Yeah.
Right.
For those watching who's
Yeah.
thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or even going through the phase where they're just like, man, this happened, these people did these things. It's just like, it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's nice to be reassured from other people sometimes.
All I want to say is, before we end, to any entrepreneurs out there,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
um,
Listen up.
Yes.
just
Okay.
never get discouraged and never give up on yourself, because you are your biggest competitor, and if you want it and you believe in yourself, there's no reason you can't achieve anything that you want.
Yes.
And that's just what it comes down to.
Quotes by a boss.
Okay.
Okay, so then that's it. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm Naomi.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Danny.
And this is 3 Flying Millennials.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell,
All of
all the
All
stuff.
that.
You know, come on.
And also,
Okay.
please follow T at Taste of Tea on Instagram.
Yes, A_taste_of_tea. There you
Ah.
go.
You heard it.
That's
You heard
me.
it.
All right, let's
All
do that.
right. All right. Thank you.